Hello everyone, welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. I hope all of you can hear me, you can see me also. Let me know in the chat box everybody. अगर मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है, पहुंच रही है तो बता देना whether you guys can hear me and see me or not. मैं भी ज़रा चेक कर लूँ. Okay, I can already see some of you joining. अगर आप ज्वाइन कर रहे हो तो ज़रूर बताना in the chat box guys. Okay, so this session is for those of you who are targeting CLAT 2024. अगर CLAT 24 आपका target है, if CLAT 24 is your target, you should watch this session till the very end. It's a very important session, and you can watch me at a faster speed also if you want to save time. Correct? So let me know how it goes. If you're new to the channel, of course you can subscribe, and I have some announcements to make, so you can wait and I will reveal them. Okay, Priya, good afternoon guys. So what exactly are we doing in this session? That is the most important question right now. So as you can see from the title of the session itself, we are going to discuss critical reasoning, and of course we would focus on social media. It doesn't mean we would discuss Insta or Facebook. You guys know that already. I am going to focus on a passage which is dealing with social media and its impact, है ना. तो Instagram कैसे चलाना है वो तो तुम्हें पता ही है. I won't tell you to watch reels, वो तो तुम करते ही हो. हम डिस्कस करेंगे passage, right? But before I do that, let me announce something very important. If you are someone who is thinking of CLAT 2024 and you also have boards, so you might be a tortured soul, correct? दुखी आत्मा हो सकते हो. What to do about CLAT? Should I drop preparation for CLAT altogether? Should I take it up after boards? But if I do that, those students who are preparing for CLAT and boards, they will be far ahead of me. उनका क्या होगा? They will be like you know, light years away from me. तो क्या करें? Should I drop CLAT preparation, focus on boards? But if I try to do both, then of course I'll divide time. I might end up not scoring well in board. फिर घर वाले नहीं छोड़ेंगे, और CLAT नहीं किया तो relatives नहीं छोड़ेंगे. Those kind of things might be on your mind. If that is the case, then on 12th Feb at 7 PM we have a workshop. So make sure you don't miss this workshop, right? We'll discuss how to manage time, very important, and so that you are able to utilize your time to the fullest. छोटी बातें, important tips, important pointers, real life solutions is what we are going to discuss in this session. तो अभी तक अगर register नहीं किया तो register जरूर कर लेना everybody. Okay? Now, without any unnecessary expenditure of time on anything else, मैं सीधा आ जाता हूँ discussion पे. Because if you're targeting CLAT 24, it is very obvious that it is an exam which is full of reading. If you're watching me after the session, you can pause the video, you can read the passage also. Okay, मैं भी passage पढ़ूंगा आपके साथ, of course. If you target CLAT, you know that this exam is about reading. CLAT in last 3 years has been a 2-hour exam where they have asked approximately 20,000 words. तो अगर 20,000 वर्ड का पेपर है, right, words का पेपर है, and they are giving you barely 110 minutes. Why did I say 10 minutes? Because 10 minutes are lost in filling up the OMR sheet, signing the pages and all those stuff. So 120 technically, but 110 you actually get. So 20,000 words, 110 practical minutes. It's in itself a very long passage, paper, right? अगर पढ़ने की आदत नहीं है, you don't like reading, if you're not good at reading, तो ये एग्जाम वैसे भी आपके लिए महान दुखदाई साबित हो सकता है. There's no need to re-emphasize on this, है ना. तो अगर CLAT के बारे में सोचा है, if you are thinking about CLAT, then it is a very good idea to focus on reading. जितना हो सके reading पे ध्यान दो. If you do that, you would be able to manage much better. Correct? Now, as you keep on joining, let me know in the chat box. तो एक बार जरा पैसेज को पढ़ लेते हैं, फिर क्वेश्चन हुए तो वो भी कर लेंगे, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, है ना. If you suspect that 21st century technology has broken your brain, it will be reassuring, means don't worry too much, to know that attention spans have never been what they used to be. Oh, the first line itself is quite revealing. It says, if you think 21st century technology is breaking your brain, is messing up your brain, don't worry. Attention spans have never been what they used to be. Attention spans पहले जो थे वो अब तो नहीं रहे. Even the ancient Roman philosopher Seneca the Younger was worried about new technologies degrading his ability to focus. अगर आपको लगता है आज की टेक्नोलॉजी इज मेकिंग अ फोकस गो haywire, it was true for ancient Roman philosopher Seneca also. उनके भी ability to focus की वाट लग गई थी because of new technology. Sometime during the first century CE is Common Era, he complained that the multitude of books is a distraction. Now obviously in his time there was no Instagram, but what he said or complained about was that there are so many books, it's such a distraction. भैया 2-4 किताबें होती वही पढ़ते हैं तो ज़्यादा अच्छा होता है. इतनी सारी किताबें हो गई, समझ नहीं आता कौन सा पढ़े कौन सा छोड़े, और डिस्ट्रैक्शन है. This concern reappeared again and again over the next millennia. By the 12th century, the Chinese philosopher Zhu Xi saw himself living in a new age of distraction thanks to the technology of print. The reason people today read sloppily is that there are great many printed text. Same problem 12th century में भी same issue raise किया philosopher ने, Chinese philosopher Zhu Xi ने. He said there are so many books, it is so distracting. लाइब्रेरी में जाते हो 10,000 किताबें दिखती हैं, दिमाग समझ काम नहीं करता. For example, if you go to the Library of Congress in US, they have about 3 crore books. Now just imagine everyone, you go to a place where there are 3 crore books. What do? कौन सा पढ़े कौन सा छोड़े? तो ज़्यादा अच्छा क्या है, इंस्टाग्राम पर रील देख लेते हैं, है ना, डिस्ट्रैक्ट ही होना है. टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसेस वुड मेक थिंग्स ओनली वर्स. टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसेस ने चीज़ों को और गड़बड़ कर दिया. A torrent is a huge gush or huge quantity of something. A torrent of printed texts inspired the Renaissance scholar Erasmus to complain of feeling mobbed by swarms of new books. Same issue चल रहा है. कहने प्रिंटिंग टेक्नोलॉजी ने वाट लगा दी, इतनी बहुत सारी किताबें हैं, कौन सा पढ़े कौन सा छोड़े समझ में नहीं आता है. While the French theologian is somebody who studies religion, Jean Calvin, वैसे फ्रेंच है, आई एम श्योर ये जीन प्रोनाउंस नहीं होता होगा, कुछ होता होगा समथिंग ज़ॉन, है ना, समथिंग लाइक दैट, रोट ऑफ रीडर्स वॉन्डरिंग इनटू अ कंफ्यूज्ड फॉरेस्ट ऑफ प्रिंट. ये थोड़ा बड़ा चढ़ा के बोल रहे हैं. दिस इज, आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड, दिस इज बेसिकली कंफ्यूज्ड फॉरेस्ट ऑफ प्रिंट इज बेसिकली मेटाफर, है ना, मेटाफर यूज़ कर रहे हैं. क्या ऐसा लग रहा है कि कंफ्यूज्ड जंगल में आ गए हैं, समझ ही नहीं आ रहा कहाँ जाएँ, कौन सी बुक पढ़ें. दैट ईजी एंड कॉन्स्टेंट रीडायरेक्शन फ्रॉम वन बुक टू अनदर was feared to be fundamentally changing how the mind worked. Feared to be. Author is not saying certainly, but ऐसा लगता है कि दिमाग को ये change कर रहे थे. अब apparently the modern mind has been in no position to do any serious thinking for a long time. Now remember guys, it says apparently. Apparently basically means ऐसा लगता है. Author is not saying certainly ऐसा होता है. Author is not even saying ऐसा नहीं होता. So remember, be very careful with these words usage. Apparently means what? Let me give you an example. Suppose I come to your house and you say, why have you come? And I say, apparently I have come to meet you. What it means is, it may not be the real reason, right? So apparently means it looks like, but may not be the real case. In the 21st century, digital technologies are inflaming. Inflaming means putting it on fire. The same old anxieties are coming back about attention and memory and inspiring new metaphors. We can now worry that the cognitive circuitry of the brain has been rewired through interaction with Google search, smartphones and social media. Again, the passage is saying that just like in the ancient time, now we also think that because of Google search, smartphones, social media etc, our mind is getting rewired. हमारा दिमाग भी बिल्कुल नए तरीके से वायरिंग हो रही है दिमाग की. The rewired mind now delegates tasks previously handled by its inbuilt memory to external devices. This longing to return to a past age of properly managed attention and memory is hardly new. Again, the author is saying, ऐसा नहीं है कि ये नई बात है. We have always felt like that. Our age of distraction and forgetting joins the many others on historical record. Same point again, that it is not new. The Roman Empire of Seneca, Song Dynasty of Zhou, the Reformation of Calvin. Plato would have us believe that this double feeling of anxiety and nostalgia is as old as literacy itself, an inescapable problem that is inherent in the technology of writing. So, author is saying that even in 21st century, whatever we are facing is not really new. We have always faced it, even during the Greek and the Chinese time in 1st century BC, 12th century, 1st century AD, 12th century AD, so and so forth. AC and AD are same, right? Anno Domini and after the Christian era. So, after Christ. So, what is the author's main point? I hope if you have been with me till here, you are able to follow. You were able to follow, yes or no? तो एक काम करते हैं, एक क्वेश्चन जल्दी से कर लेते हैं. If you have understood the main idea, remember, if you are doing any kind of critical reasoning question, you generally get one question on what is the main idea of the author. Main idea पे एक question तो more or less रहता ही है, right? So I'm going to show you a question now. Because there is no timer, so what I'm doing is मैं आपको question दिखाऊंगा. मैं I'll use my own watch. मैं आपको question दिखाऊंगा. Then I'll show you the passage once again. फिर मैं आपको question दिखाऊंगा and then you can think of the answer. If you're watching me after the session is over, तो अपने कॉपी में लिख लेना आंसर. अगर अभी देख रहे हो तो चैट में डाल सकते हो. ओके, लेट्स लुक एट द क्वेश्चन. Which of the following captures the main argument of the author in the most appropriate manner? एक्सपेक्टेड टाइप ही क्वेश्चन है. जल्दी से सारे ऑप्शंस पढ़ो और फिर मैं पैसेज भी दिखाता हूँ और बताना कि करेक्ट आंसर क्या है. Please read all the options, then I'll show you the passage, then we'll come to the question also. All right, let's look at the choices now, everyone. Option 1 says, worries about technology's impact on attention and memory are not new, correct, and have been present since time immemorial. First part is correct, but it says since time immemorial. Time immemorial means we have no written record of it. It probably have existed since the time of dinosaurs. ये जब से धरती पैदा हुई तब से ही चल रहा है. But the passage very clearly says that in 1st century somebody said it, in 12th century somebody said it, in 21st century this is happening. So time immemorial doesn't really look like a very good use of words, है ना? But modern digital advancements have reignited these fears. This part is correct. तो ये वाला part थोड़ा सा problematic है, तो इसे हम इतना अच्छा option नहीं मान सकते. So we will not consider this as a good option choice, है ना? चलो आगे चलते हैं. For centuries there have been concerns about technology and its effects. ठीक है, centuries fine, which have been renewed by recent digital advancements and social media. Broadly correct, no problem that I can see. सही बोल रहा है. Option C, the issue of technology influencing attention and memory has been a long-standing concern. सही है. That has become worse with modern digital technologies. Worse has been mentioned actually, right? But let's cross check it once. Technological advances would make things only worse. And after this, they're talking about books, right? They're talking about books. But our option talks about digital advancement. Digital advancement though is there in the last passage. That means because of the use of words, option C also is not a great choice. कोई बात नहीं, let's look at D. The modern digital era has brought back long existing anxieties about technology's impact on attention and memory, correct? Which have been around for generations. There are two problems with this option. The modern digital era has brought back long existing anxieties about technology's impact on attention and memory, which have been around for generations. Which have been around for generations means what? What has been. Now this kind of an option is called a vague option. इसे बोलते हैं vague option. Why? ध्यान से पढ़ के देखो. Which have been around for generations. कौन? Modern digital era or impact on attention. Now technically this should talk about impact on attention. So impact on attention has been there for generations. If I take it like that, it can be a good choice. But because it is slightly vague and we have a much better choice, we go with option B. So this is what is important in critical reasoning. You have to read, you have to eliminate. If you can't do both, you cannot really get correct answers. Right? Okay, let's try again. Next question says, which of the following cannot be inferred on the basis of the information given in the passage? Cannot be inferred means 3 can be inferred, 1 cannot be inferred. Inferred basically means you can say it is true on the basis of the information given in the passage. Passage के basis पे आप कह सकते हो कि information correct है, right? ज़्यादा मुश्किल नहीं होना चाहिए. Let's read. The author believes that technology has always had an impact on attention span. Author believes that technology has always had an impact on attention span. If you read the passage, author says that, author कहता है technology का हमेशा से ऐसा रहा है. When print technology came, it had an impact. When digital technology came, it had an impact. तो ये बात author के हिसाब से तो सही है. The author thinks that modern digital technology are causing worse concerns. Same problem again. Digital technology causing worse concern. पैसेज में लिखा था टेक्नोलॉजी कॉजिंग, नॉट डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी. तो ये तो इसको इन्फर कर पाना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, जिसे मैं लगा देता हूँ क्वेश्चन मार्क, है ना. हमें कैन नॉट ढूंढना, याद रखना. तो ये फर्स्ट वाला तो कैन है, तो हमारा आंसर नहीं हो सकता. ये वाला क्वेश्चनेबल है, ये आंसर हो सकता है. द ऑथर बिलीव्स दैट द कॉग्निटिव सर्किटरी of the brain has been rewired by digital technology. This is practically mentioned directly, है ना. We can now worry that the cognitive circuitry of the brain has been rewired through interaction with Google search. तो ये तो practically mentioned है. तो ये भी आंसर नहीं होना चाहिए because ये भी true है. The author thinks that there is a historical pattern of anxiety and nostalgia regarding attention and memory in relation to technology. बिल्कुल सही बात. ये तो author throughout कह रहा है. यानी the only thing that is not something we can say on the basis of the information is option B. तो हमारा करेक्ट आंसर क्या हो जाएगा? ऑप्शन बी. वेरी गुड. प्रिया, इज इट क्लियर? कैन नॉट बी इन्फर्ड है, कैन नॉट बी. हाँ, क्या ध्यान रखना, कैन बी इन्फर्ड नहीं है, कैन नॉट बी इन्फर्ड है. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. Which of the following can be considered a statement that the author believes to be true? जल्दी से बताओ भाई, क्या करेक्ट आंसर होगा? Read the options and try the question. Author believes to be true. Author के हिसाब से सोचना है. Okay, let's see what is the correct answer. I'll wait for 10 more seconds. ठीक है, आंसर बता दो फिर आगे चलते हैं. Okay, let's look at the choices now. Author किसको सच मानता है? Attention spans have never been strong and technology has always had an impact on it. Now problem is extreme words, never been, always. Number one problem with option 1. Number 2 problem is it talks about strong or weak. Attention span कम या ज़्यादा तो हुए हैं, they have become less or more, but strong is a different kind of quality, right? Suppose I say Ram lived a long life. It could mean Ram lived for 100, 110 years, 100 years, 80 years, 70 years. But can I say therefore Ram lived a strong life? हो सकता है Ram was a soldier, he fought for his country and he died at the age of 21, and he may have lived a very strong life. In the sense he was always strong, he did very tough things. Long and strong are not same. नॉट एट ऑल, बहुत ही डिफरेंट है. तो ये थोड़ा गड़बड़ लग रहा है ऑप्शन, है ना. तो इसे मैं क्वेश्चन में डाल देता हूँ. क्वेश्चन क्या, गलती मार्क कर देते हैं. ऑप्शन बी, एंशिएंट पीपल वर कंसर्न अबाउट टेक्नोलॉजी अफेक्टिंग देयर एबिलिटी टू फोकस. हाँ, ये तो सही लग रहा है ना. बस एक प्रॉब्लम है इसमें, इसे क्वेश्चन मार्क कर देता हूँ. एंशिएंट पीपल, दिस इज वेरी वेग. एंशिएंट कैन मीन पीपल फ्रॉम 5th century BC, 5000 BC, 50,000 BC. एंशिएंट का मतलब तो ये भी ठीक है, बट द प्रॉब्लम इज विद द वर्ड एंशिएंट. कैन वी हैव अ बेटर चॉइस? लेट्स सी. टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट्स हैव कॉज्ड नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट्स फॉर ह्यूमैनिटी. टू ब्रॉड ह्यूमैनिटी. पढ़े लिखे लोगों की जिंदगी पे असर आया था ना. जस्ट इमेजिन इफ समबडी इन 1st century AD, 12th century AD वर इलिटरेट, उनको फर्क पड़ता कितनी किताबें अवेलेबल हैं? ओनली दोज हु कुड रीड एंड राइट वुड हैव बीन इम्पैक्टेड बाय दिस. नो, इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड दो, इवन इफ यू आर इलिटरेट यू कैन प्रोबेबली वॉच रील्स ऑन सोशल मीडिया, ऑन इंस्टा, करेक्ट, और यूट्यूब, and you can get impacted. But back then, 1st century AD, 12th century AD, only if you are educated, number of books will be a concern. तो ये ठीक ठाक ऑप्शन है, but the problem is a very huge vague word humanity is given. It's called too broad, again becomes a problem. Maybe D is a better choice. The use of digital technology in the 21st century is causing similar concerns about attention and memory as in the past. बिल्कुल सही. We are using digital technology in 21st century and our concerns are just like the way they were in 1st century or 12th century AD, that our attention span is going down, we are not able to focus, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. That means the correct answer is very clearly option D. तो भाई Ankita, I don't know whether you wrote the answer for this one or not. In case you did, you got the correct answer. करेक्ट. तो क्या सीखा? कुछ सीखा भी कि नहीं? Whenever we are doing critical reasoning, remember, one of the first question type that you are likely to get is main idea. So whenever you read a passage, always try to find out what is the author's main point. Once you understand that, questions which are related, for example, inference, assumption, strengthen, weaken, conclusion, they will become much more doable. Right? And therefore, always focus on finding the main idea first, no matter what passage you are reading. Correct? I hope you would take this message home. If you're watching me after the session is over and if you found the session useful, make sure you press the like button because that makes us very happy, and consider joining us. So use the subscribe button, bell icon ko press kar dena, because then you would get notifications whenever we come up with new passages and new sessions, and हम बहुत सारे नए sessions करते रहते हैं, तो उनको ज़रूर आप watch कर सकते हो, है ना. Now before I let you go, if you are thinking of CLAT 24 preparation, then we bring you undoubtedly the very best in the industry. 300 plus recorded sessions, 300 plus hours of live classes, 35 plus mocks, monthly magazine content curated, prepared by the NLU graduates, people who have been to these colleges, and on the basis of the latest pattern. ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ भी पढ़ा रहे हैं, we know what we are doing, right? तो इसको आप ज़रूर कर लेना. और for this you need to download the app, right? And don't forget the free of workshop if you are thinking of CLAT and boards at the same time. 12 Feb, time is 7 PM. Register now, go to the app, you can register there, and description भी देख लेना, link वहाँ भी मिल सकता है आपको. Correct everyone? So thank you so much for joining me here. We are also on other social media platforms, तो वहाँ पे भी आप हमें join कर सकते हो, और you can join us on our YouTube channel, you can join us on our Facebook channel, you can join us on our app of course, and other such. Telegram पे भी कर सकते हो, right? Insta पे भी कर सकते हो, सब कुछ कर सकते हो. So I'll see you again. Thank you so much for joining me here, guys. Please take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye everyone.